at the end of the day, can Rock Lee ever do what Naruto did?
Naruto got called the #1 hyperactive knuckleheaded ninja. He obviously has advantages being the fourth Hokage's taught, which is, again, very debatable. Not only is he not good enough to use these advantages, but at times these advantages even hurt his progress. Ladies and gentlemen, I, the TSO Sage, just be on Twitter sometimes, man. You know, crack my knuckles, scratch the balls, and then every now and then, once in a blue moon, we get a couple of anime hot takes that I didn't ask for. In this one, I see from friend of the show, Big Tev, never the little one. And he has a tweet that, y'all know I hate sorting by views, but in this case, because he's getting kind of scooked for it, it's been starting to go viral. Let's see what he said. I know the nigga. I'm gonna call his ass. And we'll keep going from there. Y'all not gonna like this, but Naruto didn't get it out the mud. Luffy didn't get it out the mud. Yuji didn't get out the mud. Excuse me. Nepotism. Goku got it out the mud. Yusuke got it out the mud. Hinata, from that show I haven't watched because chat gulagged it, got it out the mud. Entirely effort-based. By my definition, Naruto certainly got out the mud. Luffy, I would say yes, he also got it out the mud. Yuji, fair. Yuji's kind of just, no. Yuji did not get it out the mud. Yusuke, I would also say, unironically, did not get it out the mud. Yusuke does have to train, for sure, but Yusuke's kind of like, just like a fuck you prodigy. And Goku, I'm not gonna lie, it entirely depends on who you're talking about. See, the thing that I think where Goku is if you're saying Goku as a fighter in general, oh no, he didn't get out the mud. He's a Saiyan. If you're saying Goku relative to what his Saiyan biology told him he was going to be, oh, he absolutely got it out the mud. So I think that's where that is. Now, I don't think Tev is sitting here saying that none of these characters trained, because then Tev would straight up be an idiot. And I don't think Tev is stupid. Tev not. In most conversations, Tevin's gonna say things more educated than I will. I'll be chilling. But and I gotta read some of the subs and streaks afterwards. I'm just introducing the video right now. But yeah, the reason why I don't agree with the idea that a character like Naruto didn't get out the mud, especially Naruto, because I feel like that's gonna be the one that he doesn't shake on, is because, sure, if you want to look at the series, you teleport to the end. Ashura reincarnation, Naru Jesus, you got him. But I think Naruto, considering he's told the entirety of the series, he's a dunce. Everybody around him, prior to him, and even after him, if you want to go to Bort, people get called genius and prodigy and raw talent all the time. I'm not going to spoil all my people that ain't read Bort, but Himawari, Sarada, Bort, Mitsuki. If you want to go straight to the manga, if you want to go straight to the I said the manga because I was thinking Bort. So if you want to go straight to the Naruto anime or manga, you have Sasuke, Gaara, what's his name? You have Lee, who even gets called a genius for taijutsu. Neji, he's called the prodigy of the Hyuga clan. All these other things. Naruto got called the #1 hyperactive knuckleheaded ninja. And I think it's one of those things where with Naruto, I don't like it's a popular one because of what Shippuden's what's revealed at the end of Shippuden tells you, that it kind of makes people just forget the story of Naruto in a way to me. Like, Naruto literally clones himself a million fucking times over and trains. Now, one is going to just argue, oh, well, he has the birthright of being Uzumaki. He has the birthright of being the, what's it called? The Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. He has the birthright of being Minato. He has the birthright of Minato's taught, all these other things. But when you really sit there, and I don't know what the fuck chat's talking about, side note, I've seen a ton of paragraphs that have nothing to do with conversation, so tighten the up. But in other news, when you see all of these things typed about Naruto, I think it's just always a little bit baffling, because it's like because a reveal was given to us later, we ignore what the narrative and story was telling us the entire time. And I don't like that. But I do think there's definitely some Nepo babies in anime. Absolutely. Again, I think he got it wrong. I think Yusuke certainly is one. Even though he trains as well. But let's hear his definition. He defines it in a video, and then after that, we can go over some other characters and Mike Tevin on stage. Yap. Maybe you guys even debate him. Fuck it, who cares? We probably won't tackle JJK, though. He's probably read the manga. I haven't. But even then, I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty safe to say that Yuji's a raw talent. I wouldn't call him. Yeah, Yuji's like a fucking raw talent, so there's that.
All right, we're going to follow up on the anime nepotism versus getting it out the mud.
Let's do it.
I'll try to put it in the simplest terms that I can because I know there's a lot of context. There's a lot of different definitions of getting it out the mud, this, that, and the third. Basically, think about it like this. From my definition, birds gotta fly and fish gotta swim.
Right.
Right? A bird can naturally fly easier than a fish could. A fish could naturally swim better than a bird can.
Correct.
If a bird shows up and starts out swimming a fish,
right,
they got it out the mud.
So we're talking about straight up advantages. I want to say I'm gonna let it play out, but I feel like he's just any advantage. Then that's a separate conversation because then that kind of is like a, well, are you defining get it out the mud right or wrong? But then if that's the way he defines it, then sure, that's to be a whole different standpoint.
If a fish starts flying better than the birds, they got it out the mud because it took way more effort to learn the skill. To have you don't have the resources, you don't have the innate ability to do that. You actively chose to do something way more difficult. You took a much more arduous path because let's face it, if a fish and a bird both took flying classes and they both trained the same exact intensity of flying, the bird is always going to outfly the fish. There is nothing that fish could do to outfly the bird. So when I say Goku got it out the mud, if he trained as hard as Vegeta trained as hard as him, there's no way in hell Vegeta should have ever lost, right? Barring mental, psychological.
And this is what I was talking about. So again, with Goku, I think Goku is dependent on what you're talking about. Goku relative to Saiyans definitely got it. Because like Goku is a low class, like again, and that's why I say, why are we going against what the author is directly trying to tell us? Goku is called a low class Saiyan. Literally the imagery of Vegeta, a high class Saiyan, standing tall against Goku, a low class Saiyan, both posing, and Goku literally, it's not a mutual jump. I know some of us play the games too much. It's not like they both jump off. Goku jumps to Vegeta. It's literally on all accounts, whether you want to use your eyes or your ears, they tell you that Goku is essentially not supposed to ever reach Vegeta's level if they're both locked in all the time. Frieza is another example. Hence why he does 10 push-ups and he's stronger than every fucking body.
Right? Yes, they had lack of resources. Yes, they had this, that. But genetically, when they were born, when Naruto was born, what? He had that. Luffy had that. They had the ability to. They just had to work for it. I'm not discrediting their work. Everybody in anime works very hard. They just had that little bit extra, and that's that nepotism.
Yeah, I get what he's saying. I get what he's saying, and it's just a matter. It's just a matter of it's just a matter of how like very firm you want to be with it. Because then at that point, you could argue a lot of people are Nepo babies if you want to be a piece of shit fuck about it. You could be the biggest high standard person of all time about it. So it's a little bit subjective, as all opinions are. But let's hear what Tev thinks. Yo.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm chilling, man. Living good, staying off the internet.
Twitter's on your ass, pal.
It's not as bad as normal anime opinions go. Actually, I've seen a decent amount of discourse, which is more credit than I can normally give them because usually it's just
a lot of people frame one in my chat at least where they were critical of your Goku point, and then they heard your video and they was like, okay, that one makes sense. I played your vid that you quoted it over too. I just think,
oh, for sure,
I think a lot of people are gonna. I mean, I personally, I'll even admit me, I don't like the Nart one. Luffy,
Okay.
I'm 50-50 on Luffy. So I guess my first question, and this is really like I know we just listened to you define what get it out the mud is, but I mean you're here now. If there's any like loose screws, I's not dotted, T's not crossed. When you say get it out the mud, are you really referring to essentially? And I don't know what to put on screen. Fucking, I'll put his Twitter on screen. Are you referring to like any advantage, or is it like a advantage requirement, like a bloodline requirement type of thing?
Okay, the first thing that I'll say is that like my initial tweets, the easiest thing is that I am able to change my mind. A lot of people have changed my mind on Yusuke and Goku within like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it is dependent on how you look at it.
Mhm.
There are people, main characters who have unequivocally gotten it out of the mud. People like Hinata, who no one disagreed with because Hinata couldn't even touch a fucking volleyball, versus like Ash Ketchum, who didn't even learn like type advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah, Ash just is able to use Thunderbolt on ground types and just
yeah, like he it took him a long time to get anywhere in the league, like 8-9 attempts. But my definition, one of the biggest things in debate is you have to define things very clearly.
Yeah.
Same with like how a court would go. And for me, getting it out the mud, specifically in an anime sense, because in anime, everybody suffers, right? Like every main character goes through these moments where it's like they were not put in the best place systematically or resource-wise to bring out their full potential, right?
Right.
Knowing that, I don't discredit it, but I do not acknowledge it, because if everyone has that, then no one can officially define that as getting out the mud. Everybody got it out the mud from a life standpoint if their main thing was like suffering. That's kind of the point of like a shonen anime. So if we think about it, removing that part of like how life and psychological things are barred, what we're left with is the innate potential, the maximum cap that you are given based on the genetics and the social resources that you were given, right?
Right.
So in Naruto's example, his father is the fourth Hokage, Mr. Run on Sight.
Yeah,
It is at the time considered the second strongest Hokage to ever do it. His mother has well known in the family to have the largest chakra pool, bar none. It's if it's not Senju, it's Uzumaki. So, and you know what I'm saying? So he, without fail, the moment he is born, has this incredible innate power. Now, a lot of people are talking about, and I even heard you talking about it beforehand. We don't know these things until later on in the story, but it doesn't matter where you start or where you're in or whatever. What you're born with is what you're born with. It doesn't matter. I didn't know who my father was until I was 3. Didn't stop me from being 6'5", did it?
Damn.
You see what I'm saying?
I see. I see what you're getting at.
Like, I have the innate advantage of like just naturally having an affinity for basketball and having an athletic body because of what my father and my mother gave me. It doesn't matter. You and I could train the same amount of time, but I naturally just have an affinity that you can't. If you were to have outworked me, like if we put in the same amount of effort, I'm not only am I probably still beating you, I'm probably going further, right? Because like it just comes more naturally to me. The same with like why Sasuke was so far ahead of Naruto, and Sasuke was a prodigy in his own right, but Sasuke was so far ahead of Naruto. Naruto trained for like a little bit with Jiraiya, came back and this nigga was moving crazy. He was damn near equals.
But that's actually
even though Sasuke was with Kakashi, it shows the innate ability to, when he got the right resources, when he got the right understanding, and when he felt seen and heard and whatever, he was able to catch up quite quickly because of his circumstances. A great example of this is why no one in all of that show worked harder than Rock Lee, I think.
See,
why at the end of the day could Rock Lee ever do what Naruto did?
See, that's actually where I want to go with this too, right? I actually wanted to bring up Lee as well because for me, I think this conversation can branch off into 2 categories. One, being a nepo baby or being this raw talent It's just purely based on the advantages and, as you said, the highest cap that you can get. Or two, and what I think I define as getting out the mud, that plus the actual realistic chance of you doing it, right? And I think for me, when we compare like Naruto and Sasuke at birth, it even tracks with Ashura and Indra in the sense that, but Ashura a bit less than obviously, but in the sense that, yeah, Naruto, he's kind of like a klutz. Like he's not even just like bad. He's like genuine stupid. Like Lee always worked hard, but Lee had like the ability to throw hands. Lee had like skill. Like I think that's probably the word here. Naruto had zero skill in what it took to be a shinobi outside of guts, outside of I'm going to go ahead and be Hokage one day and undying loyalty and things like that. But in terms of skill, throwing kunais, using the chakra that you do have, yes, he has a lot, but using that thing, Naruto had no shot. So where I think a lot of people on Twitter who can't articulate themselves just straight up go wrong with, but also are still going to try to ratio and shit, is because I think when Naruto, it's like, yes, he obviously has advantages, whether you want to argue being a Jinchuriki is an advantage or not, which being straight is very debatable. Being the fourth Hokage's Tot, which is, again, very debatable, or being Uzumaki, which is not debatable. He has a lot of chakra, chat. I don't know what to tell you. But I think Naruto, time in and time out, just not only is he not good enough to use these advantages, but at times these advantages even hurt his progress. So when I see him finally master and overcome those obstacles, also in a world where he is born targeted in a weird way, it's like a double-edged sword thing. Because he's born with the 9 tails, everybody wants to kill him. So when he overcomes that and develops the skills that he needs to reach his potential, I don't know if I can sit there and say he didn't get it out the mud. Now, when we talk about, and I just, for the sake of conversation, we just gonna stop these talks at Egghead. But for like, I haven't finished Egghead and shit. I'm learning more by the day. Just finished Kuma's backstory. But like when we talk Luffy, for example, right? He ate a fucking he ate the fruit of all fruits, in my opinion. Right? So him, if you sat there and said, Sage, Luffy trained, but what more does he need? I mean, he literally gets saved by his dad early in the series. His granddad is arguably, if not clearly, the greatest Marine of all time. And then he's fucking God. I think Luffy, I'm not gonna fight you. I'm not gonna fight you. With Goku, I actually was on your side, but my chat was easily convinced of that as well. Yusuke, you've already said you changed your mind, and then the other show I haven't watched. But I think that's kind of where this conversation really boils down to. Does acquiring the skills to use the advantage and lack of potential of acquiring those skills, does that in a way hinder it for you? I know I kind of over-yapped to ask you a question at the end. But,
no.
But yeah, like, would you say that matters too? Because I think like if we were bringing a new character in, like Deku, yeah, he ate the hair for sure. And I need to catch up on season 8. Apparently it's good. But he ate the hair and shit. But Deku, of all motherfuckers, is not a fighter. He's not a fighter at all and broke his hand every time he punched. So
Deku is an interesting one. I guess to answer the question is that, like, to go back for all the way, the first thing you were saying was Naruto had like no discernible skills of a ninja.
Yeah.
Skill is something that you can learn. That anybody can learn, and your predisposition to whether you can learn or not learn something does not apply to my definition of getting it out the mud. That's why I just didn't. That's like a subjective term of like the definition of getting out the mud. So that's like why people are having different opinions. I think that the biggest issue with a lot of what I said is that just what we define as getting out the mud. Like if I defined it, including like not having the skills necessary to understand your potential, or not having the best resources, or having psychological bars or things that like would impact your ability to reach your potential, then every single person ever in any anime that overcame any goal got it out the mud, right? Because that's what it
Correct. I was illustrating that with chat right as the stream started. I don't know if you caught that. I full screened it just because I'm gonna make this a much more lighthearted game because I know you got to go soon. So I'm just gonna speak. But yeah, I definitely agree. Chat, this don't be the guy that completely goes left or completely goes right in this conversation. No, that's not a political reference. But yeah, don't be the guy that's like, well, then nobody got it out the mud, or anybody that has trained ever got it out the mud. That's extremely lazy. Proceed.
That's where that goes. So for me, I tried to boil it down to, if we removed skill, which can be learned, if we removed psychological issues, which can be healed from, what are you left with at your absolute peak when there's nothing but as far as you can go in front of you? To that point, Naruto is in fact someone who cannot get it out the mud because he has so much available to him. Another thing that I want people to consider is that, like, even though no one in the village wanted to deal with Naruto, he has the closest access to the third Hokage out of like any of those children. So if they wanted to, like, when other people see the third Hokage, like other people in his class, they'd be like, oh shit, I've literally never seen him before. But Naruto be like, oh, that's the old nigga that gives me money. Like, a lot of the things that happen in the world around Naruto happen because of Naruto's existence. And so he is introduced to situations, whether good or bad, that allow him to have unique scenarios capable to his world. He is allowed to experience the worst of the worst, but that allows him to have the greatest of successes if he succeeds, which he is capable of.
And that's why I think
similar with Luffy, similar with like all these people that are in those positions. Luffy, the first episode, niggas, he's with Shanks, who is a top 4 pirate all time at that. Well, not all time, it's dependent, but he's like one of them big dogs. Like the people that he knows and the people that know him, regardless of if he knew it or not, are looking out for him. They're checking in on him. Ace is talking about his younger brother Luffy on them seas, and them niggas know Ace. They know what he's about. That's a whitebeard pirate. You know what I'm saying? And so the world, as Luffy is introduced to it, as he becomes a pirate, because he knows his brother Ace, because he knows Sabo, because he knows, and I'm not going to get too deep into spoilers or whatever.
Yeah.
New scenarios and situations are uniquely open to him. That
I see where you're getting at. I see where you're getting
right. And so it's a combination of those two things. Like good, like I'll put it to you like this: if I'm the son of a millionaire, or if Sage is the son of a millionaire, and I am the son of a coal miner in West Virginia, and we both went out to LA, and we just talked about the scenarios that we knew of growing up, there's a good chance that somebody knew Sage's father or Sage's family, and they're like, oh yeah, I know you, like manages da-da-da. But if I went over there and I was like, yeah, I'm the son of a coal miner, they'd be like, nigga, what the fuck is coal doing? Like, I have to do more. I have to do more to be known in this scenario, versus like you have a better chance, and I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but you have a better chance of being in scenarios that favor you because of the environment that you were born into, regardless of even if you knew your family. You know what I mean?
Okay. Last elaboration question, and after that we're gonna just do like a gimmicky speed round. Then I'll let you go to sleep. I'll yap with chat or some shit, and we'll keep it pushing. Last elaboration question. Okay, so now what if, like, in theory, I have this millionaire parent, but they don't give me a dime, but I still somehow end up rich. Like with that kind of, and I know that's kind of like obtuse, but it's like, just let it cook for a little bit. It's better than tuna, trust. But like, if I have a billionaire parent and that parent doesn't really provide anything for me, they're a fucking deadbeat, and they kick me out the house at 6. After all of these things, I just naturally learn. I'm just this natural born go-getter hustler guy, and even though I'm living house to house, check to check in my early years, at some point I too become a billionaire. I don't know if I would then also be like, oh, he's a nepo baby. Now, he might have this innate trait, or I might, in that case, have this innate ability, this birthright, this bloodline rule of, hey, you got money is on your brain somewhere. But I don't know if, like, if I'm living such a crazy life. Like, even, and this is why I think Naruto is going to be the title and thumbnail. Editor, put Nart on the goddamn title and thumbnail. But this is why I think Nart is like the main one that everybody debates, and including myself here. Because with him, like, if we just sit there and we elaborate on the advantages, we could go all day and night. We're not going to, but we could go all day and night on who is really an advantage for real. Like, on one hand, yeah, he knows the third. He can sit there and call him an old bum, and everybody be like, what are you talking about? That's a great point. On the other hand, someone, and I guarantee chat probably already did, will sit there and be like, now, what the fuck? The third's a deadbeat. He lied to his dad about taking care of him, yada, yada, yada. Or we could argue that, hey, he has Nine Tails chakra. Yeah, but doesn't the fox want to kill him? Or does it, like, all these other things? So it's like for me, it's like a pros and cons thing, and it really comes down to, for my definition, I've asked you questions. When I think of like a nepo baby destined for greatness, I think of like, one, there's no way that you won't reach this ceiling. Like absolutely not. Like, I would say off rip, someone who I just know, like Sasuke, Gojo, granted Neji at some point somehow is disappointing. I wouldn't say Goku, but perhaps like a Frieza,
hello, monkeys,
for example, or a Broly, for example. Just like there's no rational way that you would fail, because even in the situation where you're supposed to die early, what Broly do? Fucking tank a planet's explosion and then just beat people up? Or, from Black Clover, I'm early in that series, but he's another one where he just spawns in and he's worth this all level book. Or like all these characters that, what I'm trying to get off, because it's hot in my room and I'm sick, but what I'm trying to get off is all of these things where you would have to not only be a dumbass, but you also would just have to bear, like, almost not want to be good for you to not be successful. That's where I'm like, okay, you're just obvious nepo baby. You're just obviously this guy that can't fail. And I don't want to sit there and get the straw hats on my back because they're stupid and annoying and loud and annoying and raunchy and annoying and smelly and annoying. But Luffy, he works hella hard, but at the same time, using your logic, it's hard for me to sit there and tell him that Luffy doesn't have fuck you advantages. But unlike Naruto, Luffy's advantages, there's no debate. I mean, the nigga gets to train with Rayleigh. I didn't even bring that shit up. So, like, it's just, I hear the point of having, like, born advantages, but I think for me, and I guess this is really where my final thing is, if you're born with the advantage, is that just, like, dead? Is that just dead conversation? You were born with this advantage that raised your cap potential. It is what it is. If that advantage truly helped or not, or is it okay? Said advantage has to be used for you to qualify to being essentially a nepo baby or something. Because I think that's kind of like whatever the case. That's literally training with Jiraiya. Yeah, I would say, yeah, to be fair, training with Jiraiya is a big fucking deal. Training with Kakashi is also a big fucking deal.
Which would they have wanted him had they not known?
I think that's a pro and con, though, because he then gets hunted by the craziest threats in the verse as well, right? And you could honestly argue that for Luffy, because he's the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki and things.
And why is he the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki? Who made that decision?
Kurama.
Kurama, but who put that Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki seal on him?
Minato
His dad did.
Minato did. But that's a pro and a con.
It's a pro and a con, but it's still.
But it's an advantage. It's a cap breaker. Nobody. Yeah. I'm not here to be a dumb chat nigga. Nobody's gonna sit there and argue that, hey, gang, you have a Nine-Tails chakra pool at your disposal that it's 0% in no way, shape, or form an advantage. What I will argue, if we really was like on some actually shit back and forth, I would be like, name 5 times it actually matters to him. Because he doesn't use the Nine-Tails chakra to actually win fights. If anything, his win-loss gotta be at least 4 games negative when he just crashes out and uses Nine-Tails chakra. Like yeah, I'm pretty sure that's on purpose probably. But he loses damn near every fight except the Haku one, where if he crashes out and he uses the Nine-Tails chakra, he don't win those. He never wins without sticking to who he is as a person. He never wins.
Right. Well, okay. I guess answering your early question is like, are you a nepo baby because you were given the advantages, or are you nepo baby because you are able to use the advantages?
Basically. You see,
For
he said it
me,
smarter.
because being able to use the advantages, especially when it comes to innate physical talent, which is the only thing that I'm describing here. Innate physical talent, it kind of doesn't matter whether you learn to apply it perfectly or not, because you will have it. You know what I mean? You cannot he could not, Naruto never could decide how much chakra he had.
For sure.
No, like he was
Yeah,
born
more
with
than
what
Kakashi,
he had.
born that way.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, whether or not he is able to find the ability to apply it is entirely up to him. Now, he is him at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like he wanted a goal and he achieved that goal, but he, in a certain way, is allowed to have that goal because of who he is. You know what I mean? Like many, like nobody even talks about this, but how many kids wanted to be Hokage at the same time that Naruto did? Hell, Sasuke wanted to be Hokage, but he can't. He even he couldn't. Why? Because Naruto could, and Naruto had the ability, and Sasuke had the ability too, and that's where effort comes in, obviously. And nobody sans Rock Lee is working harder, but there's a ton of people out there that wanted to be Hokage. Like, think about it from the Blue Lock standpoint. Blue Lock actually has the best way
Another
of
Shoten
explaining
Blue
this
Lock.
to me. And I don't know how many people have seen Blue Lock, but there is a time where they're doing 1v1s or 2v2s. And if you lose, you're out. And every one of them niggas wanted it so bad, and they all worked their ass off. But guess what? The better players won because they had the better physical traits, mental traits that got them there. They all worked their ass off. And there's a specific episode where the guy's working, and he's not only is he outworking Isagi, he knows Isagi's game plan and is beating him at it. And he only had to make one shot, and he missed because he couldn't do it. He didn't have the physical strength. He didn't have the stamina. He didn't have the ability to do it when it mattered. And so he literally comes up to Isagi and he's like, I finally understand now that some of us cannot do, like, we simply cannot. We worked the same. Hell, I could even work harder than you, and it didn't matter because you have it and I don't. You can go further with the same amount of effort than I could. And it's very much just like that. I don't knock any, like, I promise y'all that, like, I see the Naruto argument and I could easily change my mind because there's so many things that he earned genetically negatively. There were a lot of negative traits that he earned because he was dumb. Like, he's not smart. There's a lot of things that he had to overcome genetically to make that work. But the fact of the matter is that physically, he would, like, only a few people can be Sannin level.
He was born
Only a few people can be Kage level, and he had the ability to, be it Gon, be it Killua, be it Deku is a really interesting one, and I think that's like probably the best 50-50
Deku is a
one.
Very tough one.
Because he was quite literally handed the ability, but he also, like, had nothing to work with.
Like,
he had to literally understand it from base level. So that's one where you can literally be like,
skip over the training arc too. Like, they don't really flesh it out. But Deku, apparently, chat, think of the most nerd neck dude in your school. Sorry to cut you off, but think of the most nerd neck dude in your school. He has to train to get that. If he doesn't train to get that, he can't even use the quirk. So yeah, it's
a super, super interesting one. I think that one has many complexities, and it once again comes to, like, how you define it. Goku's another interesting one where it's based on how you define it. You can make a case for all these. Naruto, Luffy. It's hard for me to just look at their circumstances and be like, oh, shit was hard for them, or they fought a lot of, like, and it's like, oh, Luffy was getting his ass beat. This nigga was getting his ass beat by the strongest fucking people nonstop. He only fought the top tier. I don't really think I can agree with somebody that's like, oh, he was getting his ass beat. Yeah, by Crocodile, by Dolphy, by Arlo, like niggas who he was literally punching up because these were people that were realizing their potential in real time, and he was making the effort to be fighting the 1%ers.
Right? I have to be fair. People do. I even brought up the losses to defend the One Piece fans because I can tell that'd be a popular one. But when you think about it, Luffy does fight the top. Luffy do be fighting the top tiers. That's true. I can't even count.
Bro hit Water 7 and was like, "Fuck all these Marines. Where is Lucci?
Robin?
Fuck all these niggas.
Yeah,
I'm not fighting him. Y'all deal with that. I want the strongest person here right now." And guess why he can do that? One, because he has belief in himself and he works very, very hard. That's absolute. And I have nothing but respect and love for Luffy. But it's also because he knows he can. He knows that he's got some shit that other niggas ain't got, whether it be a devil fruit, whether it be Conqueror's Haki, whether it has the ability to transform and go gear second. Like, he has all these things that he knows he can apply to fights that he knows Usopp's not doing. Usopp ain't got the knowledge. He ain't got the innate ability to do it. And so he knows that.
This conversation always gets very interesting. I know you got to go to bed, so I'm gonna give you a lightning round of
fuck Usopp for sure. Thank y'all, chat.
He said, "Fuck Usopp."
I hate Usopp.
No, my chat does not like chat. Like, love, or hate Usopp. As y'all spam like, love, or hate. I'm gonna ask 3 characters. I think these are pretty clear cut characters, but let's just see a track of minds, and then one guy, the guy at the end, probably just gonna give me some rage bait, and you might drop it. What would you say? What would you say? Avatar Aang, the Last Airbender. Is he Nepo of hell? Did he get it out the mud? Because when you think about his story, but then at the same time, he's the fucking Avatar. So
yeah, he is the Avatar. So like,
yeah, what do we think about Avatar Aang?
Innately, based on definition, that's Nepo. Like, and it's not even because not only that, he has access to the other avatars.
Correct.
Like,
I agree. No, I agree with you.
Ain't nothing he can do. Ain't nothing he can do.
And I think the reason why I want to start off with Aang, just because we're about to wrap this up. By the way, Rab, I see you working, nigga. If you want to hop on Discord, shit, we could call a sub. But basically, chat, I don't think Tev, unless Tev's about to shock me right now, or myself, hate Aang as a character. I think being a Nepo doesn't make you an instantaneously bad character or that you never worked hard. But my brother in Christ, the guy said, I don't know what to do with the Fire Lord and talked to his ancestors. The nigga's a Nepo, baby, on all accounts. And I don't think it's a bad thing.
Also, I want to say that the word nepotism is being loosely used in this connotation because the words that I would use to describe what I'm talking about would not be, they're not modernized. We know the word Nepo baby because it's come up in recent talks, so I use it in a very loose connotation. It's not exact nepotism. Nepotism would be like LeBron DeBronny type.
Yeah,
shit.
LeBron. Yeah. For the actually, the practice among those powerful influence of favorite relatives, friends, or associates, especially given jobs. Yeah. So your mom is your mom is the queen of health insurance, and then the tot becomes the king of health insurance.
Yeah, it's not exactly that. We're using it loosely to help understand and make a very, very different debate. But yeah, 100%.
Let's get two more characters. What do you think about Tanjiro? I'm only at season 4. I'm almost done at the I'm at the part. I'm almost done.
He's Nepo.
He's Nepo as hell.
For those, if you understand,
feel like he is,
you understand.
I feel like they've implied too much that he's Nepo. I'm at season. What's the last thing I seen, chat? He just got done. With more spoilers for anybody.
If you niggas keep saying, if you keep dissing me specifically, I'm finna spoil you. do not play me.
Leave him alone.
No, I promise you, if you, it's okay to disagree, but if you attack me personally,
then just yes, no.
Everybody will
put down
exactly how he's
the gun. Don't pull out the manga, yeah, please. All right, well then we'll speed run this one because I'm definitely not far in this series. Blame chat on this. Ichigo, is he Nepo?
Oh, for sure. Super duper. If you know, you absolutely know.
Damn. Okay.
Hey, listen. Somebody
Who
tweeted
works
me
hard
about
to
this,
me?
and I said some people were just meant to be that guy, and
Oh
he
yeah,
is
and
one of
I
them
love those
from
stories
jump.
too. I love those stories.
From jump. He was meant to be
Um,
the guy, and he is the guy.
All right, yeah, this the last one. Last one. And I think this one be the weirdest one to do, but you could argue for or against. Aaron.
This is such a good one.
Yeah.
Because
I don't
in
know
a
how I feel about
way-
Aaron. Yeah, Aaron.
In a way, it's like literally yes, but in a way, it's like no, not at all.
Yeah. Because we've all seen Attack on Titan, chat. On all accounts, technically, Doi.
In a way,
But he doesn't do anything that you would expect from said bloodline. Like nothing. He's the one that did it.
by the time you understand the ending, you realize that it's not even like nepo. It's like predetermined destiny. Like his is like beyond nepo, where it's like it was written that way. It was like there
It's
was
like he wrote it.
prophecy.
Yeah.
It was like a circle. It wasn't even like a. It was predetermined. It was like this is how the story will go once you get to the end.
Yeah.
That was an interesting one. Had you not known anything up until towards the end, like you could go several ways with that. And I could still change my mind if you like took the fate part out of it.
Mm.
And it was like, could you close your own loop? Like I could be swayed, but his is
Aaron
like
is a
way
tough
too
one.
airtight. His is way too airtight.
'Cause
It's
I
like
definitely-
he had no choice.
I brought up two that I felt like probably were with Aang and Tanjiro. Ichigo, I genuinely didn't know. So I was like, here it goes. And then with Aaron, I was just like, I don't even know. So, okay, we agree on those then. I feel like there's just certain characters we're obviously going to disagree on. But, ladies and gentlemen, your bud Tevin, he has a flight to catch. Let him go, chat. But Tevin, ladies and gentlemen, man of intellect, anime YouTuber, and most importantly, a friend of TSO, man. You know what I'm saying? Round of applause, man.
Appreciate y'all having me on. And again, at the end of the day, all of these things, like I'm super open to changing my mind about if you guys have good counterpoints into it. And you can go check. You can see the replies where I go, that's a great counter argument. These are things that, or if you define it a different way. At the end of the day, I do enjoy anime conversations that are like, if you're intelligent enough and you are good enough at speaking your
Don't
piece,
end with you didn't watch the series if you don't mimic it exactly. Yeah.
then I'm like, hell yeah, you know what? That's a great way of looking at it. And you know what? I respect very heavily the way that you define it. The way that I define it might be different, but I like the way that you rock with it. So my mind has been changed. Except for Usopp. It's always fuck Usopp for literally forever. Nobody will ever change my mind.
I don't get the Usopp hate. I don't get the Usopp
He's is life not better when he's not there?
No, I mean
That nigga just lies.
it doesn't enhance anything. He just there, and it
He
doesn't.
just
But I don't
lies.
mind a couple jokes.
Yeah, okay, good. He comic relief. That's what we want in our pirate crew. Comic relief.
He's supposed to have fucking hockey.
Damn. I thought we wanted a sniper, nigga, not a clown. We
supposed
could have
to
got
have
Buggy for
fucking
that. We
hockey.
could have got
I don't
Bond
know
Clay
why.
for that.
I don't know why they didn't give his ass fucking whatever, man. Enjoy your nap, man. Enjoy your flight. Have a safe one, brother.
Hey, y'all take it easy, man. TSO forever.
Type shot. All right, man. That was Tev, ladies and gentlemen. That was Tev. I was thinking if we're gonna have a segment of people coming up to debate it, but I'm not gonna lie. I think I want to leave this open roomed. Maybe a part 2 debating this thing with chat and or YouTube comment sections in a different day. Or maybe a Rab comes up here and he's like, yeah, next time that guy was stupid or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe one of those things. In my opinion, I think that I'll probably never agree with the Naruto point, but a couple of his points were valid. Like, for example, I might refund my Luffy one. Because the more that I think, the more that we talked about what we would define as certain traits, and 2, the more that I really think about the story of One Piece, which is fun because there's 1,000 episodes. The more that I'm like, okay, in hindsight, he has these advantages, but at the same time, all the advantages given to him, he has to still work for them. So it's a weird one, but he's still gun to my head. That nigga got saved by his dad. and then trained by Rayleigh. But it ain't like he ain't go to jail and learned how to use whatever the joie, whatever the fuck they was talking about in Wano. If he was a Marine, he'd be a Nepo. That's fair. If he went to the Marines, there's no conversation. He's a fucking Nepo. But I'm gonna say highly debatable because he's such a hard worker, but I think he is also a Nepo baby. I think Naruto, when you have the advantages and disadvantages of said quirk, of said birthrights, even because like with Naruto, you could argue targeting, like Luffy, you could argue targeting, but with Naruto, again, I'm not letting nobody sway that. The Nine Tails was plotting on that nigga. Everybody acts like he was cool, and I saw some people saying I was wrong earlier about Naruto not winning fights if he's not crashing out. I mean, if he crashes out and uses the Nine Tails. No, he doesn't. Someone named Sasuke, gang, they was already cool. Like, what the fuck? They was already peachy and chummy. I'm talking about Naruto saying, screw it, I'm only using Nine Tails Chakra because I'm mad at you and I'm born diff, suck my dick. He never wins those fights. Except Haku, he never wins those. He got obliterated by Orochimaru. He got embarrassed by Dataris. Kakashi had to finish that one off. He got he tried to do this shit against Sasuke when they first met each other, and Pain beat the shit out of Crash Naruto. What are you talking about? It literally took, unironically, a different argument for the Nepo, but it took, unironically, chakra given at birth to stop that nigga. Now, if you want to say, cool, whatever, but don't lie. don't fucking lie. Hell no, he wasn't beating Pain. Fuck no. No, not at all. He would have died without it. That's kind of fair. In fact, I would argue straight up. I mean, there's one time Sasuke, you know, that's fair. But no, don't. Nah, I don't know how y'all said that was wrong. That's kind of like the main thing that Naruto doesn't just get mad, red eyes wins. Come on, Deku and Eren. Yeah, I'm honestly not. I think I am on the side that Deku's not. Eren debate. I literally don't have a bias. Please let me know what you feel about Eren Yeager. But Deku, yeah, I would say Deku is more not one. And I would argue Deku got it out the mud, even though he gets handed to quite literally the strongest quirk. But like he has to earn it. He literally had to earn it. And I think with him, they simmed it so fast, the training arc so fast. But like they could have made that training arc 5 episodes if they fucking wanted to. And yeah, it could have been on some crazy shit. Yeah, so yeah, but I think this was a good conversation. This is a fun conversation. Shout out Tev. Shout out any other creator that chimes in the future. For now, let's move on to some other shit, man. Take care, stay blessed.